Would you look now? We gon' cook now. Dwarves with that big hair. It's hardly fair.
Well, hello children. I come bearing a book. A book today, yes. The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. They're adapting the appendices of this giant tome. As you can see, there's appendices in the back of it with extra information about the world. But Amazon has been gracing us, blessing us with the Rings of Power, one of the finest shows ever created and certainly the most faithful adaptation of Tolkien's work to date. I was reading through the appendices to see what Tolkien said about dwarves, and I just thought I would share a little bit of this with you. It's funny because I was reading the appendices and then I wanted to go to the scene where Frodo Baggins meets Gloin, or Gimli, sorry, not Gloin, Gimli. Or wait, does he meet Gloin? Gloin, yeah, Gloin. It's in the many meetings chapter of the Fellowship of the Ring, and I just was in the appendices and I opened the book to that page, literally to the page where that description is, completely by chance. Well, okay, not completely by chance. I knew that it was going to be, towards the front of the book, so I opened it there. But what are the chances of opening the book to the very passage that I wanted to read for this video? It's almost serendipitous. It's almost as though it was meant to be. Anyways, next to Frodo on his right sat a dwarf of important appearance, richly dressed. His beard, very long and forked, was white, nearly as white as the snow-white cloth of his garments. He wore a silver belt, and round his neck hung a chain of silver and diamonds. Frodo stopped eating to look at him. "Welcome and well met," said the dwarf, turning toward him. Then he actually rose from his seat and bowed. "Gloin at your service," he said, and bowed still lower. "Frodo Baggins at your service and your family's," said Frodo, correctly, rising in surprise and scattering his cushions. "Am I right in guessing that you are the Gloin, one of the 12 companions of the great Thorin Oakenshield?" "Quite right," answered the dwarf, gathering up the cushions and courteously assisting Frodo back into his seat. "And I do not ask, for I have already been told that you are the kinsman and adopted heir of our friend Bilbo the Renowned. Allow me to congratulate you on your recovery." "Thank you very much," said Frodo. So, I would go on, but the point is, you get a little description of the dwarf with the white beard and the forked beard and all that, and richly dressed. If you go back to the appendices, in Appendix A, towards the back of the appendix, this is a little passage about Dis. Dis was the daughter of Thrain II. She is the only dwarf woman named in these histories. It was said by Gimli that there are few dwarf women, probably no more than a third of the whole people. They seldom walk abroad except at great need. They are in voice and appearance, and in garb, if they must go on a journey, so like to the dwarf men that the eyes and ears of other peoples cannot tell them apart. This has given rise to the foolish opinion among men that there are no dwarf women, and that the dwarves grow out of stone. It is because of the fewness of women among them that the kind of the dwarves increases slowly, and is in peril when they have no secure dwellings. For dwarves take only one wife or husband each in their lives, and are jealous, as in all matters, of their rights. The number of dwarf men that marry is actually less than 1/3, for not all the women take husbands. Some desire none. Some desire one that they cannot get, and so will have no other. As for the men, very many also do not desire marriage, being engrossed in their crafts. And can you blame them? It is a much simpler life without marriage. Right, and finally, in Appendix F of The Lord of the Rings, under a section where Tolkien describes many different races in Middle-earth, dwarves. Dwarves. The dwarves are a race apart. Of their strange beginning, and why they are both like and unlike elves and men, the Silmarillion tells. But of this tale, the lesser elves of Middle-earth had no knowledge, while the tales of later men are confused with memories of other races. They are a tough, thrawn race, for the most part, secretive, laborious, retentive of the memory of injuries and of benefits, lovers of stone, of gems, of things that take shape under the hands of the craftsman, rather than things that live by their own life. But they are not evil by nature, and few ever served the enemy of free will, whatever the tales of men may have alleged. For men of old lusted after their wealth and the work of their hands, and there has been enmity between the races. What Tolkien left out of his little book here, and his appendices, is the crazy hairdos. I mean, look at these hairdos. These are crazy. These are Durin, the Durin, son of Durin, son of Durin, son of Durin, or whatever, you know, because that's how it works in the Rings of Power. And Disa, or is that what they call her? That's them and their kids in season 3. They got their teenage kids there with their crazy hair. I mean, that's some crazy wild hair, you got to admit. What I don't really get out of this picture, however, is that the male and female dwarfs look so much alike that they're hard to distinguish. So clearly Tolkien was wrong about that. And he was wrong about the hair. You would think that with hair like that, there would be a passage in the book that would be like, oh, the dwarves, the Durin's folk. Durin's folk had wild, crazy hair that stuck up off their heads in great bushy mounds, like the hair on a hobbit's foot, or akin to a hobbit's hole, mounding up off their head in great billowish, cloudy, poofness. I don't know. I'm just making things up. I'm just trying to do like Rings of Power and just make up things that sound vaguely Tolkien-like off the top of my head. Although I'm pretty sure that J.D. Payne and Scott McKay actually just went to ChatGPT and were like, write us a screenplay that sounds kind of like J.R.R. Tolkien and have it set in the Second Age. Oh, and have a sexy Sauron fling with Galadriel. I don't know what there is to say really more about this. I'm just getting warmed up. I'm getting warmed up for more Rings of Power content, because I know what the people want. I know what the people need. I know what you crave. You want power. You want Rings of Power. You want lots of Rings of Power for all your grubby little fingers. I'm going to put the rings on each of your fingers, and you'll be like the Nazgul. You'll be Jeff Bezos' Nazgul. Yeah, no, I know what you want. I know what you like. I am thinking quite seriously about rewatching seasons 1 and 2 and reviewing every episode again. Cause you know what, I'm not a masochist, but I guess I can play one on TV. It sounds dark. It sounds like a dark journey to the depth of depravity and human bleakness. Grubby little fingers. It's like Werner Herzog when he talks about nature, the jungle, and the trees are screaming in pain. If you haven't seen that clip, look up Werner Herzog and his nature documentary. It's really quite the best thing you'll ever watch in your life. They should get Werner Herzog for Rings of Power. Yeah, okay. This is an amazing picture. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I think they must be trolling at this point. It's the only reasonable explanation for this shit. How could they be serious about this? I tweeted about it, and I said that they should fire the costumes and hair and makeup department, but not before they fire the writers and showrunners. And I genuinely think that while there's no way to salvage this show, I genuinely cannot believe that Amazon continues to hire these jokers who run it. I mean, there is the slim chance that, like, with competent showrunners and writers, they could make a decent end to this show. They could wrap things up in a way that was watchable. I've heard rumors that they're getting rid of the Harfoots, the Harfeet. Oh, the little Irish hobbits with the bad Irish accents. On a scale of 1 to 13, how much did they annoy ye? But I don't know if I believe that the Harfoots are actually going to be gone. Because, I mean, how would this show have any heart without Poppy? Poppy and Boppy and Smiggles and Nerf and Bozo. Oh, all me fine friends. All me fine Harfoot friends, eh? And what would Gandalf do? I'm sorry, Grandalf. What would Grandalf do without his little bobbinses? What would he do? He'd just walk around being like, oh, look at me, I'm a guy with a beard and I'm good. I'm good and I've got a staff now. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I've got a staff. And I'm just going to, I'm a grand elf. Well, I don't even have pointy ears, but I'm a grand old elf. Maybe I'm Santa Claus, eh? I'll bring presents. Anyways, okay. The book is better. You know, it's when the Lord of the Rings trilogy came out. I'm a staunch fan of that trilogy now. But when it came out and I was a young man and I was full of vim and vigor, I was not happy with it. This was my early introduction to like adaptations of things I loved. I did not like the casting choices at first. I did not like the changes to the story. I did not like how quickly they left the Shire, which is a huge chunk of the book is the journey through the Old Forest and meeting Tom Bombadil, and well, at least we got Tom Bombadil in Rings of Power. I didn't like it, and I didn't like that they cut the Scouring of the Shire, and I thought there was just so much wrong with it with that trilogy. But it grew on me over the years, you know, and now I realize what a magnificent adaptation it really was. Like how faithful they really were. They had to make those cuts. I'm wiser and older now, and I understand the world, and I understand the imperfections involved and the flaws that are necessitated by adaptation. I still would love so much. If I had Jeff Bezos kind of money, I would make an animated Lord of the Rings TV show that was like word for word accurate to the book. And it would be animated because you can't do it with live action. You just can't. You can't be as close to the thing. It's already impossible to take this and make it a movie or a show. But if you use live action, then it's always comparison to the actors, and I just think animation is where it's at. And not because, you know, I love the old animated movie. I mean, it's weird, the rotoscoping or whatever. But I loved it as a kid, and The Hobbit to a lesser degree, but still. You know, funny thing, I've never watched the Return of the King animated movie. I just always thought it was so weird to do it that way that I sort of, ever since I was a kid, protested it, and I've stuck with that. I'm gonna have to watch that. That's kind of a gap in my experience with this media. But I would make a as close to a 1-to-1 adaptation of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and as much and hell, The Silmarillion. I mean, if I had that kind of fuck you money, you know, I would just buy the Tolkien estate, and then I would make the most perfect adaptation, and it would be so book accurate. And then there would still be people who hated it and whatnot, and blah blah blah, and that'd be okay. I could live with that. But we live in a world where the very, very rich have no souls, and I suppose to be that rich, you probably would have to have no soul, and so they can't make soulful renditions of beautiful art. They just can't. I mean, Amazon and Bezos and all that. This monstrosity, Rings of Power. It's everything that Tolkien would have despised. You know, they are more. That's Mordor. You know, that kind of industry. I mean, it's everything that the agrarian minded, you know, Tolkien would have hated. I mean, he had an idealistic worldview, and it was of a bucolic countryside. It was of the Shire. It was of an anarcho-monarchist. Oh my God, I can't talk. Anarcho-monarchist. Monarchist? Oh yeah. His version of the good life was living in the Shire with a faraway king who didn't fuck with you and let you kind of go about your life in peace. And that beautiful world of the Shire, that could not exist in a world like the one we've created, unfortunately. And I'm not trying to live in the past or say things were better, before. It's always a mixed bag. That's history. That's human trajectory. Progress is also regress. But my point is that the Rings of Power is a bunch of shit. It's not Tolkien. He would have loathed everything about it. And he is looking from the grave with his one eye open, watching. It's reaching out his hand to curse everyone involved. Sorry. Okay. I need a nap. I'm exhausted. I work out way too much and sleep way too little, and it's a problem. Anyways, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of this gorgeous and amazing picture of these dwarves. Dwarven teenagers look like, basically like human teenagers. Obnoxious, ridiculous, full of themselves, stupid hair, stupid clothes, stupid opinions. You should subscribe to my channel because it's a right fine one, even if it's a little wee one. And you should like and you should hit the notification bell and you should leave a comment. And yeah, peace be with you.
Oh Lord, would you look now? We gon' cook now.